Now let us see how we can declare variables inside our Go program. Now what I've done is behind the scenes I've added one more folder by the name of 1.2 variables, and I've created a blank file main.go. So let us see how we can declare variables in Go. So the first thing is, let me declare the package as main. In Go, there are multiple ways by which you can declare your variables. But let me try and show you a very basic syntax. So for declaring a variable, you have to use the keyword of var. So var stands for your variable. Next is the name of the variable. So we can say that the name of our variable is going to be num for number. And then we also need to declare the type of the variable. Now remember that Go is a statically typed programming language. That's why we have to declare the type of this variable. Now for the sake of simplicity, we can say that the type of the variable number can be an integer. Now there are a couple of more things to remember. Now since this variable is outside the function, that means that this variable has module level scope. If we declare a variable inside a function, then the scope becomes local. We will keep on learning these concepts as we keep on progressing throughout the tutorials. But for now, let us go with the flow. So remember, the first is the keyword, next is the name of your variable, and next comes the type of your variable. And if we want, we can also assign the variable right over here. So for example, we can say that the number is going to be 9. It's not required to assign the value. In case if we don't assign the value, the 0th value would be allocated. So that means since this is an integer, the value of this integer becomes 0. Suppose this variable was a boolean. In that case, the 0th value of boolean becomes a false. So automatically this value would have been false. Don't worry too much about these things. I will cover them in the future videos as well. Next, let us see how we can declare a constant. And we can declare a constant by using the const keyword. And suppose we want to have a constant for our API key. The type is going to be string, and let us assign some value to this one. So this is how you can also declare a constant in Go. Now remember that both of this variable as well as constant, they are outside your function. So these variables would be visible to all of the different files inside the same package. Now again, I'm just telling you all of these things for your reference. Don't worry too much. Next, let us see how we can declare variables that have local scope. Next, let us declare our main function. So we can say func and main. Now the variables or the constants that we create inside this function will only be visible inside this function. They won't be visible outside. So here let us see how we can declare variables. Now suppose if we want to declare multiple variables at the same time, then we can simply use a bracket, and here we can start declaring our variables. So let's declare a variable for name, and let us declare the type as string. Let us declare one more variable called as lucky number. The type can be integer, and let me assign some value to this variable. Next, let us simply print out this value. So we can say funct.println. First, let us print the number. Let me copy and paste a couple of times. The second time, let us see the API key. Next, let us see the name. Let me copy one more time, and the last one is going to be our lucky number. Now remember that we have not assigned a value for the variable of name, and the type of this variable is string. So the 0th value for the string would be a blank string. In Go, we don't have the concept of null. So let us try and run this file and see what's going to happen. So here we can see, let me just take it slightly up. So here we can see that the number is 9. This was our API key. Now since we have a blank string, we can't see anything over here. And last, the lucky number was 13. Let us go back and let us see what we can do right over here. Next, let me show you a shorthand syntax for declaring our variables. So let us declare a variable for day. Now since this is a shorthand syntax, the Go compiler can actually infer the type of the data. And we can declare the variable by using shorthand syntax by using a colon equal to, and then let us assign some value to this variable. Now if we hover over the variable of day, we can see that the type of the variable is a string. So the Go compiler can actually infer the type of data. Let us also try and print out the value of day. So let me change this to day. Also let us do one more thing. Now since we have not assigned a value to the variable of name, so let us say name and is equal to, and let us assign the value of my name Anil Kulkarni. Now since this is a variable, we can reassign the values, but in case if this was a constant, so at that time we can't change the value. Now let me just save this one and let us try to run this file. So let us see what kind of values we are getting. So this is the number, this was the day, this was our API key, this was the name, and this was the lucky number. So that's it for this video, and I will catch you right in the next one.